Let's do Greg Cote's Back in My Day.
And now, it is time to take a trip down memory lane. Here's your guide, Greg Cote, with Back in My Day.
Cafeterias. Folks nowadays, accustomed to snapping their fingers and having food from any restaurant magically delivered to their doorstep, have no idea about the now extinction-bound cafeteria dining, where you'd head to a mall, enter a cafeteria, grab a tray from a tall stack, and inch it lemming-like down a long metal rail, pausing to select whatever food you wished. Oh my, but in the 1970s in South Florida, Morrison's versus Piccadilly raged like two heavyweight rivals going toe-to-toe, the Hatfield and McCoys of tray dining. A rare trek by the Cotes from 1440 to Morrison's in the Hollywood Mall was a rare treat indeed. Visions of their famous fried shrimp making Greg Cote's mouth water. Shrimp. You stood on a communal line of the like-minded, a camaraderie of shared experience disappearing from Americana, just like the experience of waiting in line overnight to be there when the doors to the record store opened the next morning and they began selling tickets to the Kiss concert at the Sportatorium. There were no waitresses there at cafeterias. It wasn't fast food. It wasn't even particularly cheap, but it empowered the diner with a culinary variety, literally a freedom of choice that he couldn't find anywhere else. Grown out of the Great Depression, cafeteria dining felt like a smorgasbord, a wonderland where anything was possible. By the 1990s, cafeteria restaurants were going the way of 45 RPM records, ice delivery trucks, and Admiral console television sets. Say the word cafeteria to most millennials today, and they only know about their school cafeteria. But even those have changed into something older folks wouldn't even recognize. Back in my day, old Mrs. McGillicuddy in a white smock and a hairnet ran grim roughshod over the school cafeteria, and onto your plate plopped a square of meatloaf or a scoop of gummy mashed potatoes, whether you wanted it or not. Variety? Variety was a showbiz magazine, nothing you got in your cafeteria. School cafeterias nowadays are tantamount to food courts that pamper entitled youngsters. There are different lines for pizza or burgers or tacos or other stuff. Some schools even have contracts with fast food restaurants to bring in food to the schools. And the family dining cafeteria, it lopes into faded, distant memory. It conjures the image of my dad announcing proclamation style that tonight would be Morrison's night. My taste buds dancing in royal anticipation of that signature fried shrimp. I'm Greg Cote, and that's how it was back in my day.
Is he longing for hospital dining? Is that what he's longing for?
Yeah. There is something about that tray and getting in line and getting the meatball sub and a carton of milk.
But couldn't you just go to a buffet?
Wait, so this was like a cafeteria that we would have in school, but just on its own?
It was a cafeteria in school well, yes, they had restaurants like that. You would grab a tray, get in line, right? And the options were very limited. I mean,
well,
I feel like
not in Morrison.
Like Publix and Lucky's have this type of thing now where you can go and you have a tray and you can fill it up.
Different.
Small scale.
Totally different.
We're talking, Piccadilly was a very large scale buffet.
Very much so.
You would take the tray and you would shoo yourself down a very long sort of runway of proverbial delight.
Different than a buffet, though, a cafeteria.
Mm-hmm.
A buffet tends to be all you can eat. It's a little bit more limited because, they want you to eat what they want you to eat.
Cafeteria, she's giving you what she's giving you. And that's it.
In the school cafeteria.
That's it. You're getting what you get. Meatball sub, carton of milk, maybe a little salad on the side.
It's like in prison. You don't get to choose.
Oh, the meatball subs at my school, Daly School in Port Washington, were the best meatball subs.
They're known.
Couldn't wait for Thursdays.
That.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, the buffet move, well, not the buffet move, the cafeteria move at a Piccadilly is always to put the dessert at the front. You don't put it at the back because you get it when people are most hungry.
There's a psychology to that, very much so.